but it's just all to keep the guys going, keep the vision intact.
Cool, so let's have a look where we are today, with an immediate swerve to something really far in the past. So this was the original concept bridge with this table, which is a hollow table like a lot of the other ships. So we started off here, then we changed it to a hollow sphere that spread across both decks, and we're like, it's not quite right. So we sort of have combined both into a hollow sphere and a hollow table. So it's circular, it projects a sphere, it can project all sorts of things to give the same impact. Other big changes on the bridge, the concept had a spiral staircase from the lower deck to the upper deck, but that's now an elevator. That's purely for metrics reasons. The space needed for our characters to traverse up a spiral staircase would have pretty much taken up that entire gap between those two seats. And again, if we wanted to keep it, ship needs to get bigger, wider, we go back round in circles again. Cargo pods, we talked about briefly. So these have had some big changes. They're still swappable, so the default version is going to come with these cargo pods in particular, but down the line we're going to let you swap them out for other types of cargo pods, other types of modules that will go into some point in the future.
Yeah, they're similarly designed to the ones on the Caterpillar, so it's got that gantry up top, and then we also made it so the sides will open up so that you can access space for the outside from them.
Yeah, the original concepts had the openings to the outside beyond the faces that connect in between them, which is great when they're on the ground, but completely useless in space. So whilst these are recessed inside the ship, they do double clamshell open, so the bottom can open and then you can access these whilst in space or flying, or do things like people do in the Caterpillar, shoot out of them. Okay. Next up, turrets. So it had 4 turrets in the original spec, it's still got 4 turrets, they've got the same sort of guns on them. The sideball turrets are manned, we did quite a lot of work on those. And the top turret is now remote, the bottom is manned. Again, that was a change due to the layout of the ship. If we'd kept the top turret manned, there would be this just entrance point randomly in the middle of a corridor. So making that remote frees up that space, and then the manned turret is accessible from the main elevator shaft that goes up and down the ship.
And here we're showing off a little bit of a video where we've made the turrets on the side to be like the hammerhead turrets, so that you get this greater degree of control.
We wanted to keep the aesthetic of the original concept turrets, but without this, they would have moved about 10 degrees the other direction, which is suboptimal.
Nice solution.
Plus you've got those size 4 guns on there.
Yeah, they're big guns now.
Pretty decent.
So this is the top turret that's now remote, again, back in size 4 guns. Moving through the interior, habitation, we saw that earlier, so it's an ex-military ship, so it shares its habitation areas with the crew. Captain has his own captain's quarters, which I can confirm is now, doesn't have a huge bathroom. The bedroom's a bit bigger, the bathroom's a bit smaller.
Yeah.
The desk and room for shouting at subordinates is equally sized. Got the hexagonal pool table that you saw earlier.
And this is, there's a nice contrast here. We're sort of moving to the softer, warmer lighting. This is habitation, right? You're going from the sort of more scientific exploration part of the ships, the dark greys, and then when you go into habitation, you want something a little lighter, something a little less oppressive. You've got the familiar anvil shapes in there. It should be quite a nice area to sort of maneuver around.
It's got a different aesthetic, like you say. It's very white, creamy, light grey. This is the harsh dark grey of the rest of the shape.
Yeah. The greys we were talking about.
Yeah. The drone room, which we sort of briefly whisked past in the demo earlier today. So we have 4 drones for the ship. And there's 2 drone operators. You can see one, which is the sort of lit area at the back, and there's one behind where the camera is. I'm going to make full use of their big laser pointer at the desk. Steve wants to talk about whether
there's the track on the top so that they slide out, and you can also repair them in that section over there, yeah. And then they also slide down, and they can be deployed from there.
So this is a sealed unit here
Yeah.
that they come into and go 90 degrees, and they go launched out into space. They recover the same way. It's sealed, so you don't vent this room, which is where you're sat operating them. Should be a very bad time for all involved. Engineering, which got an unexpected cheer when we were going through the demo earlier. This is a very cool looking room.
It's always like a bit of a hero room, the engineering rooms.
Big steaming dark.
You kind of want it, you want it to feel special.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the gravity generators up there a little bit. What we were talking about before.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
So that's actually where that window, the gravity generator room, looks out of. Biggest change is the landing gear from what we had at the start. This is what you changed on here, so I don't know what's going to happen now when it comes to
So
work.
you will have to click it and then it will animate it. But yeah, you guys will know we went through, at least it should work, there we go. We went through several options. Obviously we've seen the long leg version. Then we had do we have the sausage dog version? Looks like maybe that got taken out. With the little legs.
We'll not remember the sausage dog version.
I like Dachshund, so that was my favorite.
But I think this is the best. This is a really nice solution.
Gives a really nice silhouette. We don't tend to do a lot of 3 points of contact landing gears on big ships, just because they're so big. But this is a really big triangular sort of footprint, so it works well for